He found this black girl alone on a sidewalk. 10 years later, a miracle happened. The morning rain had stopped, but the streets still shimmered with puddles. Sunlight struggled through gray clouds, reflecting off wet pavement and passing cars. The city was waking up. The sidewalks filled with hurried footsteps and umbrellas being shaken out. But no one noticed the girl. No one except Mr. Daniel Carter. He was just walking back from the grocery store, his tan jacket zipped to the collar and a brown paper bag tucked under his arm. He nearly tripped when he saw her, a small black girl, maybe 6, curled up on the edge of the sidewalk, right beside a lamp post. Her pale green-white dress was soaked and stained, clinging to her skinny frame. Her hair stuck to her forehead. She had no shoes, no bag, and no coat. Her knees were drawn to her chest, her cheek pressed against the concrete like it was the softest pillow she had left in the world. Daniel stared. People walked around her. Some glanced. No one stopped. He knelt slowly beside her. "Sweetheart, can you hear me?" Her eyes opened halfway, big brown eyes, hollow, like she'd cried so much there was nothing left. "You okay?" he asked. She whispered one word, "cold." That was all it took. Daniel put his bag down and gently took off his jacket, wrapping it around her damp body. She didn't resist. When he lifted her into his arms, she tucked her face into his shoulder as if she'd known him her whole life. He didn't even think. He just walked straight home. His small apartment was quiet, warm, and cluttered with memories. Photos of his late wife and daughter filled the shelves. He hadn't raised a child in years. But the way the girl curled up on his old couch, falling asleep without a word, it awakened something in him. After drying her off and giving her soup, Daniel tried asking again. "What's your name?" "Aaliyah," she whispered. "Do you know where your parents are?" She shook her head. "Did someone hurt you?" Silence. That night, she slept on the couch with a blanket over her and Daniel's jacket still wrapped tightly around her shoulders. The next day, Daniel called child services. He explained everything. They sent a social worker named Tasha. She looked over Aaliyah, asked questions, ran her photo through every database. No missing person report, no identification, no one looking. "She might be undocumented," Tasha said. "Or abandoned quietly. It happens." "What now?" Daniel asked. "Well, foster homes are full," she said. "But if you're willing, we can fast-track you as a temporary guardian." Daniel didn't hesitate. "I'll take care of her for as long as she needs." Days turned into weeks. Aaliyah didn't talk much, but she followed Daniel everywhere, sat beside him at breakfast, waited by the door when he took out the trash. Her silence wasn't empty. It was watchful, like she was studying how to be safe again. One day, Daniel caught her in the living room, standing beside the old upright piano that had belonged to his wife. Her small fingers traced the keys without pressing them. "You like that?" he asked. Aaliyah nodded. "Go ahead." She hesitated, then touched one key, then another, then a soft sound, a broken scale. The notes didn't match, but something about how she moved made Daniel stop what he was doing. That night, she tried again. Played the same broken scale, then another. Over the next few days, she spent more and more time there, never speaking, just feeling. One Sunday morning, while Daniel made breakfast, he heard something that made him drop the spatula. Music. Real music. He rushed to the living room. There she was, eyes closed, shoulders swaying, playing a melody Daniel hadn't heard in years. It was Amazing Grace. And it was beautiful. "Aaliyah," he whispered. She stopped playing, looked up nervously. "I just heard it in church once," she said. "I wanted to try." Daniel knelt beside her. "You didn't try, baby. You did. That was incredible." She smiled. Small, soft. Her first smile. As months passed, Aaliyah opened up more. She began humming to herself, drawing, asking questions. Her favorite thing to do was play the piano in the late afternoon when sunlight came through the blinds and lit the keys like gold. Daniel officially became her foster parent. Every Sunday at their small church, Aaliyah was invited to play a short piece. At first it was simple hymns, then more complex arrangements. The congregation would stop talking, some cried. "She plays like someone who's lived 1,000 years, the pastor once said. Aaliyah didn't know what to say to that. She just played. Then one day, Daniel came home. "Look," he said, "there's a youth music competition next weekend, piano division. No entry fee." Aaliyah hesitated. "I don't want to win." "You don't have to. Just share your gift." She looked at him. "What if they don't like it?" Daniel smiled. "They will because it's you." The auditorium was large, filled with families and judges and teenagers in shiny outfits. Aaliyah wore a simple sky blue dress and neat white shoes Daniel had saved up for. When her name was called, she walked up slowly. The hall quieted. She sat, closed her eyes, and played, not loud, not flashy, but deep, emotional, like she was telling her life story through every note. When she finished, there was silence, then applause, standing ovation. Aaliyah returned backstage overwhelmed. Daniel hugged her tightly. "You were perfect for you," she whispered. Then someone approached, an elegant woman with a tablet and badge. "Mr. Carter?" "Yes. I represent a music foundation for prodigious youth. Your daughter, she's extraordinary. We'd like to offer her a full scholarship, lessons, mentorship, national stages." Daniel stared. "You're serious?" "She's not just talented, she's one in a million." As they left the building, beaming, Aaliyah glanced across the parking lot and froze. A man stood near a tree, watching her, pale, nervous. He didn't clap. He didn't smile. He just stared and then quickly walked away. Daniel saw it, too. "Do you know him?" he asked. Aaliyah didn't answer, but her smile faded, and Daniel realized the story wasn't over. Not yet. Aaliyah couldn't stop thinking about the man in the parking lot. His face was unfamiliar, but her body had reacted before her brain could process, a chill, a sudden pressure in her chest, as if some buried memory had stirred. Daniel noticed the shift. "That evening over dinner?" he asked gently. "You sure you don't recognize him?" Aaliyah stared at her fork. "No, but I think I used to." That night she sat at the piano but didn't play. For the first time in months her fingers hovered then fell still. "What if my past finds me?" she asked. Daniel came beside her. "Then we face it together." Weeks passed. The scholarship offer became real. Aaliyah began attending private music lessons twice a week. Her tutors called her a phenomenon. Videos of her church performances went viral. One titled "The Piano Girl Who Slept on the Sidewalk" reached millions. Strangers wrote letters. Some sent gifts, but Daniel made sure her life stayed grounded. Piano, school, laughter, quiet. Then one autumn afternoon, a knock came at the door. Daniel opened it to find a well-dressed woman in her early 40s holding a small envelope in trembling hands. "Mr. Carter?" she asked. "My name is Dr. Renee Lewis. I think I know Aaliyah." Daniel's breath caught. "How?" She opened the envelope, revealing a faded photo of a young girl. "Same green-white dress, same eyes. She's my niece. She vanished 10 years ago. My brother, he was unstable. Took her from her mother and disappeared. We thought they were dead." Daniel's hands trembled. "Are you saying he left her on purpose?" Renee nodded. "He was arrested 2 weeks ago. Possession of forged IDs. He confessed he abandoned her. He said she wouldn't stop crying." Aaliyah stepped into the room, hearing the last part. Her eyes locked on Renee. "Do you remember me, sweetheart?" Renee asked gently. Aaliyah took a step back. "You were there in a photo on a wall. I remember." In the weeks that followed, DNA confirmed the truth. Aaliyah's mother had died shortly after she vanished. No one had known where the child went. Renee had searched, filed reports, begged authorities, but the trail had gone cold. Now she wanted to reconnect. "I don't want to take her from you," she told Daniel. "You raised her. You gave her a life, but I'd love to be part of her future." Daniel looked at Aaliyah. "It's your choice." Aaliyah nodded slowly. "You can come to my next concert." The event was held in a grand hall. Aaliyah, now 15, wore a white blouse and soft gray pants. Her fingers danced across the grand piano with confidence and grace. Cameras flashed. The crowd held its breath. Her final piece was her own composition titled Sidewalk to Sky. When she finished, there wasn't just applause. There were tears. Reporters, musicians, strangers, all moved by a teenager whose music held every wound and every hope. Backstage, Renee hugged her. "Your mom would be so proud." Aaliyah smiled. "I hope she hears me." Months later, Aaliyah launched a non-profit, Sidewalk Symphony. Its mission to provide music education to children without homes. She began performing in shelters, schools, even juvenile centers, sharing not just her talent, but her story. She told crowds, "I don't remember much about the day I was left, but I remember the day I was seen. The day someone didn't walk past." At her side always was Daniel. Not just her guardian, her father. One evening after a concert, he whispered, "Do you know what the miracle really was?" She tilted her head. "My music." He shook his head, smiling. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button for more emotional, dramatic, and unexpected tales. And let us know in the comments where in the world are you watching from. We love hearing from all of you. Until next time, stay kind, stay curious, and keep watching.